Hey, mathematicians. We're going to be talking about special right triangles today. 40, 40, 45, 45, 90, and 30, 60, 90 triangles, okay? So here we go. We're going to start with a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Now, the reason why this is considered a special triangle is because there's a relationship between the lengths of its sides. So in a 45, 45, 90 triangle, the legs are congruent, which would make sense because it has two congruent sides. And the hypotenuse is the side length of a leg times the square root of 2. And so here is the relationship between those sides. And again, you're going to have to study and practice this to make sure you get it to memory, because we expect that you can do this without any notes, all right, when you get to your assessment. So that's where the practice comes in. You do the pre-work. So if I want to, so what we're saying is those side lengths are always, so if BC is 7, AC is 7, and AB is 7 square roots of 2. And you're going to see today, and a little bit moving forward, why we worked on radicals in our chapter 7 Brain Genie, because of this, right? We're going to be using a lot with radicals in this unit. So we want to find X, okay? So in this triangle, this is also going to be 45 degrees. So I have my legs, and I always like to write these on the outside of the triangle, so it just kind of helps me stay focused. So L, and L square roots of 2, or X, and X square roots of 2. So if L is 9, the measure of the hypotenuse is going to be 9 square roots of 2. Because the relationship between the hypotenuse and a leg in a 45, 45, 90 triangle is that the hypotenuse is the square root of 2 times the length of the leg, okay? Here's another example. Again, I like to write L, and L square roots of 2. It just helps me keep things so I can kind of work with it. So I know that in this triangle, the legs are 6 square roots of 2. I know that the relationship between the legs and the hypotenuse is the length of the leg times the square root of 2. So in this case, it's going to be the leg, which is 6 square roots of 2 times the square root of 2. 6 square roots of 2 times the square root of 2 is going to be 12 units. Okay, the square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is the square root of 4, which is 2. And 2 times 6 is 12. There you go. All right. Let's take a look at another one. So again, L, and L square roots of 2. Okay. So if I know that L square roots of 2 is 8, that's going to help me set up my equation. L square roots of 2 equals 8. So how I solve for L, which is represented by the letter A, is to solve this equation. So I'm going to divide by the square root of 2, and this is where radicals come in. I want these in simplest radical form. Well, I can't have a radical in the denominator for simplest radical form. So I'm going to multiply both by the square root of 2. 8 square roots of 2, square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is 2. And then I'm going to simplify. 2 into 2 once, 2 into 8, 4. My answer is going to be 4 square roots of 2. That's going to be the side of my leg. Okay, so that's called a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Now, a 30, 60, 90 triangle, okay, that 30, 60, 90 triangle, all right, here's the relationship for them. The side opposite 30 is S, it's kind of your starting point. The side opposite 60 is side times the square root of 3. And then the hypotenuse is 2S. Too many videos today. Way too many videos between the classes. Okay, so that's my relationship. And again, I write that down when I solve a problem. Why? Because it helps me. Does it take a little extra time? Of course. But that's my problem solving process, right? Accuracy is what I'm aiming for. If it means I need to take an extra step, I'm going to take an extra step. Okay, so let's take a look. Opposite 30 is always S. Y is S square roots of 3. And, oh, whoops, I mixed that up. PR is going to be S square roots of 3. That's the other leg. And then 2S is the hypotenuse. So now what I'm going to do is fill in those values and evaluate. So for X, I'm going to have 4 square roots of 3 over 3 times the square root of 3. So you see how S is 4 square roots of 3 over 3. I'm going to substitute it in for S. So I'll go ahead and solve this. I have 4 times 3, because the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is 3, divided by 3. These cancel out, so X equals 4. And then Y is double S. So 4 square roots of 3 over 3, over 3 times 2. I'm doubling whatever S is. And so I'm going to end up with 8 square roots of 3 over 3. And there's my answer for Y. Okay. Simplest radical form. Simplest radical form. If you've got questions about that and the Brain Genie wasn't enough to kind of refresh your memory, totally get it. I think you covered it in the spring. So then just ask questions. But your answers need to be in simplest radical form. And they will be marked wrong on assessments, and they should be marked wrong on homework if they're not written in simplest radical form. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, here we go. I'm going to sign off for today. I hope you have a great afternoon. See you soon, mathematicians.